UFC 298 is done and dusted and featured a stacked lineup of fights of a former champ and title contender and even a former double champ and even potential future title contenders, but the card was headlined by an interesting bout at featherweight where champion and one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world, Alexander the Great Volkanovski, was defending his title versus a confident title contender in Ilia Topuria. Could this card deliver after the last pay-per-view in Canada where we didn't get the best of action? This is the Fight franchise and the recap and review of UFC 298. The early prelims started with the bout where Andrea Lee took on Miranda Maverick. The fight was a scrappy affair where Maverick did the better across all 3 rounds in the striking and grappling to win a great decision to start her fight year off with a win. Another scrappy fight followed this where Oban Elliott took on Val Woodburn, where they fought in a competitive fight where both guys had each other in spots of danger, but Elliott over 3 rounds did the better and won a unanimous decision. Josh Quinlan and Danny Barlow were up next, where both men fought on the feet across 3 rounds, where Barlow seemed to do the better work across the 3 rounds, where in the 3rd round, after a huge punch, Barlow dropped Quinlan and had him stumbling all across the octagon, where the fight was brought to an end where Barlow won via a great TKO. This brought the end to some decent early prelims. The prelims began with a fun bout at light heavyweight, where Brenson Ribeiro took on Zhang Ming Yang, where both guys came out throwing huge punches, where early on Ribeiro stunned Ming Yang. However, as the fight went on, Ming Yang landed a huge left hook to drop Ribeiro, where he finished him on the ground to secure the brilliant first round KO. A fight at bantamweight was up next where undefeated Rinya Nakamura took on Carlos Vera, where Nakamura kept his unbeaten streak going in a good performance, where he showed a varied skill set on the feet and on the ground, and it's only going to get even tougher going forward for Nakamura. Marcos Rogerio de Lima took on short notice Junior Taffa, who was replacing his injured brother Justin Taffa. De Lima battered the leg of Taffa where he could barely stand, but survived to the 2nd round. The 2nd round was where it came to an end, where De Lima smashed Taffa's leg, dropping him, where De Lima followed up with ground and pound to end the fight. But we have a fun storyline where Justin Taffa can now get revenge for his brother. Mackenzie Dern took on Amanda Lemos, where Lemos showed she was the better of the two on the feet, landing some big shots. However, Lemos would opt to grapple with Dern. However, with both women's skills on the ground, they nullified each other, causing a bit of a stalemate. The fight went to the judges' scorecard where Lemos got the brilliant win in a fun fight. That was the end of the prelims, which had some decent and fun fights and a brilliant KO by Zhang Ming Yang. The main card was stacked full of fun and competitive fights, which began with Roman Kopylov taking on Anthony Hernandez, where in the 1st round both men had a competitive back and forth. Hernandez failed for the takedown and both men had a really close striking battle. The 2nd round saw Hernandez push forward with pressure and land some great punches, where he eventually got the takedown and managed to get the back of Kopylov, where he fought hard but eventually secured the rear naked choke to get the win and start the main card in really great fashion. The next fight saw a bit of what became a grudge match and a fight which had huge implications for the next title contender at bantamweight, where Merab Dvalishvili took on Henry Cejudo in a really fun and competitive mixed martial arts bout, which was fought on the feet and on the ground. Cejudo did great in the 1st round with his striking, even wobbling Merab at one point, and then even in the scrambles, Cejudo did great with his wrestling. The 2nd round, the pace and pressure of Merab began to wear on Cejudo, where momentum swung in the favour of Merab. This led to a fun 3rd round where Merab dominated Cejudo, even picking him up and carrying him across the octagon and slamming him. This was a really fun fight which was competitive and showcased a range of MMA, where Merab won the rightful decision and will hopefully get his deserved title shot. The next fight saw Ian Garry taking on Jeff Neal in what ended up being quite the cagey affair and quite the boring fight. Ian Garry had a game plan to stay on the outside and keep Neal at bay, using his striking at range to frustrate Neal, while Neal would pressure and land punches but unfortunately wouldn't commit to combinations and actually going for the fight. The fight scorecard was difficult to score, but Garry got the split decision win, where he would after the fight call out Colby Covington. A really lackluster fight which let the main card down, but hopefully that Ian Garry versus Colby Covington fight will be a big draw and hopefully push us in the right direction at welterweight. The co-main event which followed really gave the fans something to cheer about after the previous fight. Robert Whittaker took on Paulo Costa in what was a really fun and epic fight on the feet, where Whittaker would do brilliant trying to smash Paulo Costa with calf kicks, while Paulo was looking for the KO with vicious head kicks. A competitive 1st round which was ended brilliantly by a spinning wheel kick which stole the 1st round in Costa's favour. Whittaker did brilliant in the 2nd round to come back, landing an array of strikes. However, Costa was still landing damaging shots. The 3rd round, Costa was tired and Whittaker took over the fight, doing brilliant in the 3rd round and ended up securing the 3rd round, where on the judges' scorecards he won the brilliant decision win. I hope to see both guys active this year and see Whittaker make a run for the title, and would love to see Costa in a huge fight again this year. The main event saw Alexander Volkanovski return to featherweight after his KO loss to Islam Makhachev to face the ultra-confident and game Ilia Topuria. This was a really close fight, with many fans split on how the outcome of the fight would go, as both guys are very great fighters. The fight began and was cagey on the feet, where Topuria was smashing Volk with low leg kicks. However, Volk was slowly finding his rhythm, but Topuria would do the better to steal the first round. The second round, Volk was doing better and landing his jab and was starting to find his rhythm, which has seen him become a force at the top of the division. However, Topuria would push forward, backing up Volk and throw combinations of punches, with none really landing, and then a vicious right hand to put Volk out cold in what will be one of the contenders for the KO of the year. Topuria proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. He talked the talk and walked the walk, and showed his confidence in his skills, and everything he is capable of is legit, and shown he is the best featherweight in the world. It seems a new era in featherweight has begun, and it is time for El Matador to reign over this amazing division. As for Volk, it's sad seeing such a fan favourite lose, but if they do the rematch in Spain at the Santiago Bernabeu, that would be one of the most amazing spectacles in UFC history. Overall, UFC 298 was a really fun card after the pay-per-view before, and quite the boring fight nights we had. Seeing some big names in the divisions compete is fun, and seeing movement in these divisions is great for the sport. We had some great finishes, especially in the main event, but the card had some really entertaining fights, especially the Costa and Whittaker war and the fun and competitive fight between Cejudo and Merab. The main event has delivered a moment for the ages and crowned a new champion in a legendary division. If we are going to grade UFC 298, it gets a B. A strong score for a strong card. Next up is UFC 299, which is stacked from top to bottom and has all the makings to be one of the best cards of the year if it delivers. Did you enjoy the video? Let us know down in the comments below. What did you think of UFC 298 and how would you grade it as a pay-per-view? Put that down in the comments below. And what did you think of Ilia Topuria becoming champion? Put that down in the comments below. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video and subscribe for more MMA and fight content coming soon. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll catch you in the next one.